Hey everybody, welcome back to Two Nerds in a Podcast. Today we're doing a little recap of sorts
Mm-hmm.
of some new movies that just came out.
Mm-hmm.
We just had our Weeb week extravaganza, although mine
Yeah.
was only like 3 days.
Yeah.
Um
For you, it was basically a weekend.
basically, yeah.
Like a long weekend.
Yeah, a long weekend. But alas, we had so much fun. We did a
So
lot.
much fun. Mm-hmm.
It was very tiring. I've
Yeah, I'm exhausted.
definitely, yeah, my body definitely was like, you girl, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But should we talk about Deadpool first? Since
Sure.
that's
Since
the
that came first.
yes.
Alrighty. So, for all of y'all who've been living under a rock, Deadpool 3 is out. I'm pretty sure it's currently still in the theater when this episode goes up. We did wait a while because we had other
We had
things.
things.
But I am a big MCU fan. Casey, I think, has seen like a handful of
Hmm.
Marvel movies. And this is by far one of the greatest movies to come out of Marvel. I would say with at least within the last like 5 years, if not a little longer, basically since Endgame.
Hmm.
And actually, Spider-Man No Way Home was really good. I always forget that's after Endgame. I always want to put it before. But that was like immediately after. But definitely way better than a lot of the movies and TV shows for that matter that Marvel has been putting out. Um Now, Casey, did you see the first two?
I did.
Nice.
So I do. I mean, okay, listen, I understand like most of I mean not I wouldn't say most. I understand a lot of the Marvel universe. Some stuff I'm
Hmm.
like I don't understand. There's a lot of there's I'm not good with timelines, and when you get into
Mm,
alternate universes, I just get
yeah.
confused, okay?
Hmm.
But I did see Deadpool. I do love Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, yeah.
I do love Hugh Jackman also.
Oh,
Um the fact that that man is like what 54.
yeah, and he has Hawaiian roll abs. Somebody on Instagram said that once, and honestly, that's all I can picture now. Is they literally like, I need you to all Google the picture of Wolverine from Deadpool and Wolverine of him with his abs out, and you can't tell me that they don't look like buttered Hawaiian rolls. They're like perfect. I
They're like
also would like
shiny.
to lick them, but like Hawaii, it's giving Hawaiian roll.
It's giving Hawaiian. It's giving buttered rolls.
Yes.
Hugh. Okay.
Oh, yeah. But I honestly like kudos because I mean he's had such a long successful acting career and he has had to be fit for most of those years. So I feel like a lot of actors his age start to be like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm not going to be fit. It's fine. I can do what I want now. But Hugh was like, you know what? They want me back as Wolverine. I'm going to commit and I'm going to give them everything. I'm going to give them the yellow costume. I'm going to give them buttered roll abs.
Buttered Hawaiian rolls.
Yeah,
We're gonna give it all, okay? Give the people
everything.
what they want.
Yeah. The opening sequence for Deadpool, which is literally everywhere,
Oh,
and
it's beautiful.
chef kiss.
So good.
I the song choice, literally the best song choice to exist. Who doesn't love an in sync moment?
Oh, absolutely. And then like the dancing with it
Oh,
just was so perfect. And
yeah.
I also it's like I always forget
Hmm.
when I watch Deadpool movies that Deadpool is part of the Marvel universe and that like it's
Yeah.
Disney,
It is now, yes.
which I'm like, huh.
Literally when that whole like merger finally happened and Disney did own Deadpool, I was very nervous for Deadpool 3 because Disney spe- specifically with the Marvel universe has a very and the Star Wars universe for that matter has a very like their sticky fingers. They gotta have their fingers on literally every single piece because whoever is in charge thinks they know best.
Mm-hmm.
And is like, "Ooh, that doesn't look good on Disney." And I'm like, I get like if it was a Disney product, but just because you own Marvel doesn't mean it has to be kid friendly.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
I feel like that's where the Marvel universe has kind of fallen off for a lot of people because the audience that started watching from Iron Man, I think I was in high school,
Yeah, they were like definitely
and
older.
like my brother was hold on. Hold on. Let me see what year Iron Man came out because it was like it came out in 2008. So I was in 8th grade
Whoa, that's crazy.
and my brother was 8 years old when Iron Man came out. I am now a 30-year-old lady.
Oh my gosh.
So there has been the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been like they have grown up. The audience has grown up.
Yeah, with them.
We're
Yeah.
not 8 anymore. We're not how old was I? 13, 14. Like we are not elementary, junior high anymore. We are all very much adults. We've been legal adults for kind of a long time. And I feel like the Marvel universe hasn't grown with their audience, which is where they kind of start to lose us. Because to us, it feels repetitive.
Yeah. Oh,
It,
definitely.
it's just like, and then I feel like phase like 1 of the Marvel universe did such an amazing job of seeing far enough into the future to kind of plan out certain things. But the only thing holding them back was literally whoever's in charge going, I don't think that movie's going to do well. And it's like, yes, it will. And then
Just
they
let it
find,
happen.
just let it do like at least what comes to mind for me is the Black Widow movie. Black Widow should have had a movie like a long, at least like 2-3 years before her actual movie came out.
Mm-hmm.
But they were like, I don't know if it's going to do well. And I'm like, why would it not? It's Natasha Romanoff. Of course it's going to do well. And it still did pretty decent. I think it would have done better if it was released earlier. Also, it would have made the timeline like less convoluted.
Yeah.
Because I get a lot of people that are like, what order do I watch them in?
It's
And I'm
very
like,
confusing.
yeah. And like, if you watch them in chronological order, you absolutely cannot watch the end credit scenes because then those will also be out of order. So you just gotta like just watch the movie and then YouTube all the all the end credit scenes in chronological order if you want to do it that way. But because they made that a thing, it makes everything very complicated. And if you're not good at following timelines and you watch them in release order, there's a good chunk of the MCU that it's like, ooh, we're in the future. Just kidding. Now we're in the back. Now we're in the future again. And now we're back, but not that far back. We're kind of like halfway back. So,
And you're
uh,
like, what? Why?
yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. And so, a lot of like, I can retain stuff like that very well in my brain. Like, I understand. But most time, like if I go to see a movie with somebody who doesn't retain that or who kind of like loosely pays attention, I have to remind them of who that character is, where
Yeah.
they came in from, things like that. And I think that was truly the one part of Deadpool and Wolverine that I didn't like was the how much the TVA was involved in this movie
Hmm.
because I'm not a fan of the TVA necessarily. I could feel like the TVA should have kept moving in the shadows. Like the big reveal is in Loki season 1, and I feel like that's where it should have stayed. Then we kind of should have just seen like hints of them here and there.
Hmm.
And then I think if we had not seen cuz we've seen a lot of them in a lot of different movies, and we got a Loki season 2 that was all about the TVA. So I feel like if they had let them shine in Loki season 1 and then continued to work in the background and we just see glimpses, it actually would have made Deadpool and Wolverine a lot better because then we would have been like, who is this guy that is
Hmm.
trying to like alter the timeline and like take over the world? And then like the big grand reveal is that he works for the TVA. but they
Yeah.
kind of made that the central focus of Deadpool and Wolverine. So I feel like if you haven't seen Loki season 1, you're a little lost for a second.
I have not seen Loki season 1, so.
Yeah, so you're just like, what is that? I mean, they do, I would say, a good job of kind of explaining what the TVA is for people who haven't watched Loki. But again, I feel like they should have just kind of left it to work in the shadows. I think it would have been a much grander reveal. But that's just my opinion. But back to Deadpool and being owned by Disney. Random side tangent. He is now walking around California Adventure.
I know, that's why it made me think of it, because it's like seeing him at California Adventure is so weird.
Yeah. And I'm just like, is that allowed? Like, is he
Yeah,
like
no,
I feel
exactly.
like in real life, Deadpool would not be allowed anywhere near Disney property.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, I always forget that it's like Disney, because when I saw like the video of him at California Adventure, I was like, oh yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
um,
And honestly, I'm kind of surprised they put him in the park. I mean, it does make sense because it is California Adventure, so it's more of
mhm.
the quote unquote more adult
Adulter, I
park,
guess. Yeah.
because you can like buy like alcohol there, whereas like Disneyland you really can't.
Mhm.
Um
Disney is more catered towards the younger.
yeah, towards like family fun, whereas California
Yes.
is more like adventure. I mean, it's called California Adventure, so it's more
Adventure.
adventurous and like, bigger rides and like kind of leaning a little towards like Six Flags territory, but not quite Six Flags territory.
Mhm.
Um so like I get that, but I was very surprised. I also have seen, I don't know if any of it's true, but I've seen a lot of like stuff flying around the internet saying that I guess one of the actors in California Adventure that plays Deadpool got fired because he said something super offensive. But
Oh my
also,
gosh.
like, that's Deadpool's character. Is
Right. So that's why
he is offensive.
right. That's why I'm like, that's so crazy that they just have him at the park
Yeah.
because it's Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
Um I will say that my favorite part about the movie is Channing Tatum as Gambit.
10 out of 10 casting. I can't believe Marvel had the audacity to not make a Gambit movie.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Like,
And with Channing Tatum, I would be 10 out of 10. I already know.
oh yeah. But I'm hoping since we're dealing with the multiverse and things like that, and Gambit isn't dead, that they'll
Mhm.
pull him like into like another movie or something, and we'll get to see a little more.
That would
Because
be fantastic.
literally, I was watching, I think it was Jimmy Fallon, a snippet of he was interviewing Channing Tatum, and he was talking to him like about how long Channing Tatum has wanted to be Gambit. Channing Tatum has literally wanted to be Gambit since he was like 8.
Oh my gosh. That's
Like he
amazing.
has like he was saying that like that was his thing when he was younger. That was like the like because he is also from like the deep south.
Mhm.
He has that accent, like he was around that kind of culture and all that, and he used to do like card tricks when he would like Gambit was his superhero of choice. Some people
That's
pick
so
Iron
funny.
Man, some people pick Captain America. Channing Tatum literally picked Gambit, and they had cast him. They had literally, there was like Comic-Con evidence that they were going to like make a Gambit. Like it was on the docket to be made. It was part of the timeline during one of the Comic Cons, probably like in like 2010 or something. And they didn't make it. They were like, it's not
Ugh.
gonna do good. And I'm like, what do you mean it's not gonna do good? It's got Channing Tatum in it. Who would
Channing
not go see
Tatum,
that?
he is really, really good at playing those type of characters. Like,
Absolutely.
absolutely way more. Like, I think of Channing Tatum. Some people think Magic Mike. I'm like, no. Channing Tatum is actually hilarious and
Yeah.
wonderful and 10 out of 10.
My name is Jiff.
My name Jiv. Like, he's so great. 10 out of 10. That was the best part about that movie, besides
Yes.
the Hawaiian rolls.
Yeah. Oh, love those Hawaiian rolls. Um, and also Channing Tatum's Gambit costume. Like I'm gonna say it right now, the costuming in this movie for being comic book accurate costumes, chef kiss, like top tier. Like we got the iconic Wolverine yellow
Mm-hmm.
suit that
Mm-hmm.
OG Wolverine would never be caught dead in ever. I mean, like, even in, I think it was the first X-Men movie, they even made a joke about that. And he was Hugh Jackman in his younger years as Wolverine was like, no, mm-mm. And that's why we got, which is also very iconic. We got Logan with just a white grungy tank top and a leather jacket and some jeans.
Mm-hmm.
But we finally got the iconic yellow suit. And honestly, I wasn't sure how good it was going to look because it's yellow. Like, yellow just as a clothing color option typically doesn't work for like in person, let alone in a movie. But they did it so perfectly, and the mask is so cool. I love his like whited out eyes,
Mm-hmm.
like Deadpool's. I'm like, oh
Also,
yes.
I love that, like, just the color contrast between
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool and Wolverine. It's
Yes.
like so great. Also, the the marketing for this movie was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
Yes.
I love Baby Deadpool. That was one of my favorites.
I love Dogpool.
Oh my god, a dog pool. I
She's
love
so
her so much.
cute.
She is precious.
Yeah.
I love that dog. I was like, this is the best. This is another best part of the movie.
Yeah.
She's so cute.
She is so cute. I love her. I could have used with a lot less of her tongue inside Ryan Reynolds' mouth,
Yeah.
but that's just me. But the scene of her running like up the hill and to Deadpool is literally the cutest thing in the universe.
I know. Oh my gosh.
And her little costume, and I love her little booties. She's got little
She's so
Deadpool booties
cute.
on, and oh my gosh, she is so cute. I love her. And it's funny because if you haven't seen her, she's one of those like ugly. There's like it's a dog and it's so ugly, but it's so cute
You're right. Like, it's so
that you want
ugly.
to die.
Absolutely.
You're just like, and then you literally have to take one look at her, and you'd be like, I die for her.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
I die for her. She's just the cutest.
She's the cutest, ugliest dog ever.
Yes. Also, all of the cameo Ryan Reynolds literally delivered on all of the cameos for all of the Deadpool variants in this. Like every iconic person that you could ever think of as a Deadpool was literally in this. Ladypool, as a lot of us predicted, was indeed his wife, Blake Lively.
Which is amazing.
Super
Lady
iconic,
Pool.
just right there. Um And I love because Ryan Reynolds on Instagram, if you don't follow him on Instagram, go do it. But he's like revealing a lot of the people that were like in the Deadpool costumes. And obviously a lot of them are his friends.
Mm-hmm.
Um my favorite little tidbit one, I don't know what his like official, like I don't know what his official Deadpool name is, but I'm just gonna call him the British Deadpool. Was actually Tom Holland's little brother.
What?
Yeah, and I was like, that's so cool. He got to be a Deadpool. Um and I would love to see just like as a random like, at the end of the credit scene eventually because Deadpool's getting tied into the Marvel Cinematic Universe and
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool is obsessed with Spider-Man slash Peter Parker. Like absolutely obsessed with him in the comics. And I would love to see an interaction between Tom Holland's
Oh
Spider-Man and
God.
his brother's Deadpool would be hilarious, just for like a second.
That would
Be
be
top
amazing.
tier. Who else? There was somebody. Oh, one of the because Ryan Reynolds, I guess, owns a soccer team from Wales, I believe.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I,
interesting. Fun
I,
fact.
yeah. Fun fact: he also has like he owns it with one of his friends. I can't think of his friend's name, and I feel so bad. But they own it together. They had a whole TV series. But one of the soccer players was in Deadpool and Wolverine as the Welsh Deadpool. And the costume for that is actually on display in their home stadium in Wales.
What? That's cool.
Yeah, I love all of the cameos in this. Like Ryan Reynolds literally I feel like I was nervous when Disney bought Marvel and particularly the rights to Deadpool because I had heard that Ryan Reynolds wasn't really allowed to like do his thing with this movie,
Hmm.
but honestly it does feel like he still got a lot of say in it, which is why I think it's probably the most incredible thing within the last 5 years for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Um,
I also love all the like jabs at like Fox and like him being like Disney's gonna make him do this till he's 90, and it's like, oh,
Poor Hugh
amazing.
Jackman.
I
Yeah.
know.
But yeah, I love that's the one thing that I was really concerned about because most of the time Disney does not like to do that. They don't like people making jabs at them. Or honestly, they don't really like jabbing anybody either.
Hmm.
But I'm like, that's part of Deadpool breaking the fourth wall though. Like he did it in the
Absolutely.
first two movies as well. So I was really worried about how much restriction they would
Hmm.
put on this movie. Um, but it doesn't seem like they really did too much. But yes, I love the big 20th Century Fox that's like in the wasteland and
Yeah.
just like halfway in the dirt, just kind of constantly in the background. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Um, let's see. Probably one of the things that was definitely not on my bingo card for this movie was that my family car, like the
Oh yeah.
Honda Odyssey was in this movie as like the car of the movie and I was just like that's such a random vehicle to pick.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
literally the best. So now every time I pull into my driveway and our blue Honda Odyssey is sitting in front of our house, I'm just like, it's the dead. That's literally what I told my dad when I walked in after seeing it. I was like, you and Deadpool drive the same car.
Also, the fact that you guys still have that car is insane.
Yeah, ours is actually older than the one in the movie.
How old is yours?
It's a 2006.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
it's she be old. She's
She
almost
be old.
20.
Oh my
She is
gosh.
almost 20 years
She can
old.
almost drink.
Yeah. I don't know if she'll make it to drinking age though. She can vote.
Woo! She'll vote in this election.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just fabulous. I love when minivans appear in movies like that because I remember when we first got our van, the neighbors next door, their mom actually got a van for work. So we both had minivans, but they always liked the Odyssey better
Hmm.
because it had mine has like automatic doors. So you don't
Hmm.
have to like slam them open and slam them closed. And it had a DVD player in it. Um, but it was funny because I remember their mom was like, the boys don't like driving in my van. And my mom was like, I don't know what to tell you. Our van's really cool. Oh, but it's just the other movie I love that does that is Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. They basically also do get out in the van, so it was just funny to see that in Deadpool and Wolverine. That's what I instantly thought of. I'm like, this is a Mr. and Mrs. Smith moment.
Wonderful. Amazing. Shout
Yeah.
out to the Honda Odyssey.
Yeah. The best van in existence. And also the
Yeah.
coolest looking one, in my opinion. It is the least, I call it a whale because that's what it reminds me of.
Hmm.
But also I feel like it's the least cringy looking minivan out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. What else? What else? Soundtrack for this movie always amazing. That kept up with the Deadpool theme. Music was
Mhm.
banging. It's funny though because I do have that NSYNC song in my playlist cuz I'm an NSYNC fan. Like I
Mhm.
have been. Um and I play it at work, and I kind of always now in the back of my head, I'm always like, I wonder if people think I put this in my playlist because it was in
Right,
Deadpool and
because of
Wolverine,
Deadpool, yeah.
and not because I'm just really old and this was the music of my youth.
I mean, it is a very good song. So,
Yes.
10 out of
Yes.
10.
Yeah, cuz my boss every time a song from Guardians of the Galaxy plays, he's like, "Oh, you put this because of Guardians?" And I was like, "Well, actually I listened to it before Guardians, but
You're like, "I'm old, leave me alone."
I like I am old. My music taste is old. Like I don't know what else to tell you. Um also I totally forgot, but hold on, I have to look up his name cuz I don't remember. The one TVA agent that is like trying to take over the world.
Mhm.
Um what is his name? Matthew McFadden, I'm assuming is how you say his last name. Mr. Paradox is his character in this movie. Literally, the second he appeared on screen, I was like, why is Mr. Darcy in this movie? I 100% forgot that he was in this movie. For one, he looks really good. Like, he still looks like he'd be still really good Mr. Darcy. But I know him as Mr. Darcy from the 2005 version of Pride and Prejudice. So I was very confused why he was working for the
You're like,
TVA.
what are you doing here?"
But I do actually really like him in this movie. Again, I wasn't really thrilled with the whole TVA angle of this movie, but I did think he did a very good job of being like just enough unhinged that we were like,
Mhm.
what are you doing? But also like I knew he was gonna fail from the beginning. Like I knew his plan wasn't gonna work.
"What you doing there, buddy?"
Yeah. I also thought it was really interesting that Cassandra
So,
Nova,
over
who
what would you rate
yeah,
this movie overall?
I would say maybe like a if I'm gonna be really mean, it's gonna be like a 4.5 out of 10.
A 4.5?
Yeah.
Wow. A 4. I would definitely say I wouldn't say like a 4, I would say like a 6,
Mm.
but definitely okay, I wanna know why you it's saying it's trying to reconnect. Jerry, what is happening here?
Oh no. Okay. So the reason I am being so harsh with this movie, Deadpool 1 is by far my favorite Deadpool movie.
Mhm.
It feels the most like authentically Deadpool. Um but it just and I think it has to deal with a little bit of like Marvel Cinematic Universe burnout, but also like Disney taking it over where it
Mhm.
just felt like it was missing something. I don't know what exactly, but it didn't quite feel like a true Deadpool movie. Cuz even like Once Upon a
Mhm.
Deadpool, which is the PG-13 version of Deadpool 2, felt more Deadpool than this one did. So like this one remains as my quote unquote least favorite Deadpool, even though I do love all of the Deadpool movies. Okay, quickly, what would you rate it? You said what did you say? 6?
I would say it was a 6, yeah, because it was, like, good. I think it was definitely one of the better Marvel movies that have come out recently, or just in general, but
Mm-hmm.
I would say probably, like, a 6. I think it was definitely a little bit overhyped.
Oh yeah.
Like, I did like the marketing for it, I think it was good, but I think that the trailers and the everything that came out made it seem a lot different than it was gonna be. I still enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie. I would watch it again.
Oh yeah. I'm still gonna buy it on DVD for sure, but I
Yeah.
I think for, like, it being super overhyped, I think truly Disney looked at the last 5 years of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and went, "Hmm, none of these have done very well," and then went, "You know what? We'll make that Deadpool 3 movie, and it's gonna bring in all the money we lost," so that I think that's why they hyped it up so much, and then, I mean, don't get me wrong, it
Hmm.
did very well, but I think a lot of us just were excited to see a familiar Marvel character and not pushing an origin story of a new character on us, because that's what a lot of these recent ones have been, is like, here's a new character and here's how they came to be, and I'm like, we just
Hmm.
did, like, all of the original Avengers, we did all of their backstories. Like, I feel like we're good on doing a whole movie dedicated to a backstory. Like, I feel like we can jump right in.
Yeah.
These people can, like,
Right. We're
exist
good.
simultaneously. Like, they don't just, like, spring into, like, existence, you know? But yeah, I mean, again, I still think it was really good. It's not in my top 10 favorite Marvel movies. Um and it's not my favorite Deadpool one, but it's still really good, and I am always excited to see Hugh Jackman on the screen. I love the
Absolutely.
original X-Men movies, and Wolverine was my favorite out of those original movies, so it is very nice to see him on the big screen. Um
It was a fun movie.
it is very fun. It was a good summer fun movie.
Hmm.
And now it's time for spooky season, which I'm very excited for.
Yay!
We were gonna talk about our Weeb weekend extravaganza, but Casey's internet is not on our side today. So I
No.
think, do you have anything else to add before I, like, wrap up this episode?
No, sorry everybody. I live in the literal desert. Like, think of like the most desertous place ever and put a house there.
Yeah, and then make it like
Um,
300 degrees like an oven.
yes. But no, I thought it was fun. I would definitely see it again. Hopefully I'm a little bit hopeful that Marvel will head in a better direction,
Yeah.
but we'll have to see. I think it's very interesting. Disney and Marvel and all that jazz.
Yeah.
But we'll
We're going to
see.
have to
We'll see
see
how it plays
we're going to
out.
have to
Yeah,
see if Pedro can pick up the MCU off the floor and carry it on his back.
absolutely. He needs to get his way in there and save the
Mhm.
Marvel universe.
Yeah. So, we've got a lot of future projects. I would if there is a petition to get Channing Tatum's Gambit movie made, I will sign
Yes,
said
please.
petition. Drop a
Me
comment
too.
for our love of Channing Tatum's Gambit, because we need a whole movie of that.
Yes,
It's too
please.
good. It's too good. Um, but other than that, we will see you guys in next week's episode. Don't forget to follow us on all the social media. Don't forget to buy your own Two Nerds and a Podcast sticker available on our Etsy. And we will see you guys in the next episode. So bye.
Bye.